Um, Good morning. I have been asked to say a few words about Didi. It leaves me a little tongue-tied because he's a hard person to capture. And also, of course, a lot of things have already been said, and it's hard to find something new to say. I remember very distinctly the first time I heard about Didi and also the first time I met him. The first time was about 25 years ago when I was still a graduate student at Harvard, and I visited the group of Shankar Das Sarma. And there was a dinner where I was entertained with a lot of stories about Didi. And then when I came to Bangalore, maybe 5 years later, I met Didi for the first time. So I did some investigation, and I found out that Didi has a whole parallel life that many of us are unaware of. I was hoping to be the first to tell you about all these aspects, but unfortunately some of these things have been leaked by a few previous speakers, but let me tell you about Didi's secret history. So he was born, as you've all heard, on 15th September 1955, and he was remarkable from the time he was born. And let me tell you about his secret past. So from a very young age, he was interested in anything to do with electronic structure. And he accumulated achievements at such a remarkable rate that they had to start a whole news channel just to deal with his accomplishments. And as you all know, this was the only news channel in India for many decades. Then, in his teens, there was a slight shift. He became involved in disco, and there was a Didi song that became very popular in our country. It's called Disco Diwane. So many of you know, those of you who are old enough remember this song. And then we've heard about his communist past. So it was so influential that they named a whole country after him. It's known as the Didi Republic, and it flourished for many years until Didi started turning his scientific attention to the question of walls. And then, of course, this whole area crumbled. And so the Didi Republic fell apart. He's also been very, he's invented things in collaboration with Ram Seshadri, something that we all use. And this is, I think, the best part of all. In Bollywood, as you all know, there are two very famous Didi movies. One is called Didi LJ. It stands for Didi Dulhania Le Jayenge. For those of you who don't know Hindi, it means Didi will take away the bride. And the one that's currently in our cinemas is Dil Didi Ko Do. That means give your heart to Didi. Okay? And it's not just in cultural areas that he's been influential. There's a whole IPL team named after him. It's not doing that well recently, so Didi, I think you should root for your team a little bit more. And a personal story, so just of the many I have. So once Didi and I were coming back together from a conference in Korea, and the plane unfortunately developed certain snags and it had to turn back, and we were okay, but of course we missed all our connections. And I can tell you that if you're stranded in an airport with missed connections, there's no one better to be stranded with than Didi. He's not only an entertaining companion, but extremely resourceful. He not only saw to it that we got fresh flights, but we were treated royally everywhere. We got lounge access, etc., even though we weren't entitled to any of this. And here I saw both sides of Didi. Of course, he was extremely charming to all the airport staff, but once in a while the steel glinted through, like when they weren't very cooperative. I saw he was still smiling, but I could see what the students were talking about yesterday. Okay? And then, of course, we came back in luxury, but both of us had trouble contacting our families to tell them they were late and tell them that we were late and we would be coming back a day later than originally scheduled. And so here something funny happened because Didi couldn't contact his wife, I couldn't contact my parents, and so Didi finally managed to get hold of one of his students, and he told her, please contact Abba and tell her that I'm going to be a day late, and also tell Shobhana Narasimhan's mother. And the student took his instructions very seriously, so she phoned Abba and told her that Didi will be coming back a day late, and then she phoned my mother and said, I want to tell you that Didi Sharma is coming back a day late. So my mother was, of course, very puzzled to receive this message and did not know what to make of it. And then when I finally managed to get hold of my mother and I said, you know, I miss my connections and I'm coming home a day late, she said, you know, the same thing happened to someone called Didi Sharma. So anyway, happy birthday, Didi.